And then finally, how do you get to work with brands? How do you approach them? How do you interact with them? All that kind of stuff is what this video is going to include. So the first thing is a really quick fix, but not to be underestimated. Make your email address readily available. You should include your email address in the description of all your videos, in your about page, on your blog if you have one, in your Instagram description if you have one, in your Twitter description. Make your email address as readily available as possible, because whichever medium brands come across you from, if they want to contact you, you want to make it as easy as you can. I really recommend having a blog specific email. So mine is hello@pawpawtoprincess.com, which you can do if you own the domain name, or just pawpawtoprincess@gmail.com, so that you can make sure it's a little bit customized rather than just your personalized email. But then of course you have to make sure that you check it. So have it forward to your normal email, or have a reminder in your calendar to check it every day. You need to be getting back to brands as quickly as you can and professionally as possible. Even if it's going to be a no to the opportunity that they're offering you, I really think you should still respond, because you never know what's going to come from the future. It might be a PR agency and they might represent a whole spectrum of brands, or it might just be that this opportunity is unpaid, but in the future they're going to offer paid opportunities or anything like that. So always reply, even if you're giving them a no. And I find the best way to say no is to say, this opportunity doesn't quite fit with my current audience, if that's the case, or if you're waiting for one that's paid, you can say, I have a lot on my plate at the moment, so I'm just not taking on unsponsored work, which is a nice way of saying come back when you're paying. But regardless of your excuse, I always try and say, please keep in touch for future things. Please let me know if there's anything else you think might be relevant for me. Please keep me on your mailing list, all that kind of thing. So give a polite no and a please keep contacting me message as well, depending on whether they're an agency or an individual brand. So if you're looking at approaching brands, of course, the first thing you want to do is approach brands that you already love. Maybe you've even YouTubed about them before or blogged about them before, and you can say to them, here's a link to where I told everybody how much I love your nail polishes, I'd love to work with you. And the best thing to do is say either, please could you add me to your mailing list for future opportunities, or if you want to be a little bit more direct, would you like to collaborate on a blog post, or would you like to sponsor a video? I think the best thing to do is start off by getting to know them and being on their mailing list before you ask for a sponsored video. But if you want to hurry things along, then don't be afraid to do that as well. And be ambitious. Approach brands who you think might be out of your league, but you just love their products, and you never know, they might be really excited by your excitement. Definitely a great thing to do is approach them with a specific idea. So say to them, I was thinking maybe I could do a comparison post of all your spring nail polishes matching my spring wardrobe, or something like that. Something a bit unusual and creative, and they're going to think, wow, this person's really got an idea, I can see a vision of where they're going with this, and you're much more likely to get the post. Of course, working with brands is most likely to be a gradual process, so at the start you should expect to either YouTube about them for free or review their products for free, and then eventually one day you'll get paid and sponsored posts. A really great way to be time efficient is to approach PR agencies. They're going to represent a whole spectrum of brands, and if you can get in with them, it can open a lot of doors for you. And similarly, joining Facebook groups and meetup groups with other bloggers or other PR opportunities. If you look at the Twitter hashtag PR request or journo request, it might be that you find brands that are looking for bloggers to work with. Blogger request is a really good one as well, or bloggers required, bloggers wanted. There's lots of website networks and Facebook groups and hashtags that you can join in with to try and get more exposure to brands and more access. And I'll include a downloadable list of a few of the ones that I personally really like. Another thing you should do is not rule out the little guy. As I said, be ambitious and apply to big brands who you think are out of your league, but also try and work with Etsy sellers or friends and family or little boutiques near you. Even if they don't have a budget to sponsor a post, they're very likely to give you free product, and it's a really good chance for you to build up your portfolio so that then when you do approach the big brands, you can say, here's what my sponsored videos look like, here's the kind of style I have, and they'll get a very good image of what kind of sponsored content you can produce. Next, what to say to them. I've already talked about what kind of thing you can use to introduce yourself and how to say no politely, but the overall feeling is that you should just be modest and polite. In the blogging world and in the PR world, everyone is very friendly and touchy-feely, so you want to be kind of gushing about how much you love their brand and really flattered when they love your channel and all that kind of stuff. You want to be a nice person to work with. You might want to produce a media pack or a press pack, I'll include mine attached, where you explain your figures and maybe some newspaper exposure that you've had or other brands that you've worked with, just in a kind of one-page summary document so that they can get a feel of what you're offering, really like your super quick elevator pitch. And once they agree for you to do a post, definitely send them a thank you. I also like to send them a link to the video once it's live, or perhaps a link to the video even before it's live so they can check that they're happy with it. It depends how you want to do it, but definitely send them a thank you and a link afterwards because they might not notice that you've sent the video live yet. Finally, what should you charge? Now this is a very big question. It depends a lot on who you are, how many followers you have, how much interaction you have, and most people are very secretive about talking about their numbers. I'm going to include my price list as a downloadable with this so you can see, but there's also a really good website blog post by Coco Chic where she talks about how much she charges for blog posts and how you can decide what to charge. That's tailored for blog posts, so looking at the ranking of your website, but it'll start to give you an idea for videos, especially because you should charge more for a video than a blog post because of course it takes a lot more work. You have to set up all your kit, you have to edit, you have to upload. There's a lot more work in a video than a blog post, so you can charge perhaps twice as much for that kind of thing. And then the best thing to do is to offer them options. So if they just want a mention on social media, that's this price. If they want just a mention in the video, or if they want a video all about them, or if they want several videos, all that kind of thing can add up into different price points. And the best thing to do if you can is let them offer a price because you never know, they might say a lot more than you were planning on asking for. So I like to say, is there a budget for this? I often have brands emailing me saying, we've done a new launch, do you want to talk about it? And the answer really is no, unless you're going to pay me to do so. But you can't really say that. So I normally say, I love the new launch, it looks really exciting, I think my readers would love it. Is there a budget for this? And that's quite a nice way of softly asking, are you planning on paying me, or how is this going to work? And then it's a really good way of getting them to make the opening offer so that you don't undersell yourself. So don't be afraid of working with brands, approaching some big famous ones and asking to charge for your posts. But also start off at the ground level. You're going to have to do some graft and you're going to have to do a lot of videos without being paid, but it's all about growing your channel for the future.